you can't get AIDS. How crazy is that? How crazy. So the punchline, Sam, you didn't get to hear the joke, but the punchline, the priest went down and don't do that. You're gonna get drugs. So when you're telling a story, you gotta be this smooth, let the words flow, and tell it like a real story on a storm. And the priest said, don't do it. You're going to get AIDS. And they said, Father, don't worry. We don't worry about AIDS. We're wearing condoms. It's like, what the hell? And so that is the joke. I don't want to go into heavier jokes. Also, you can have an optional tagline, something extra, like, and it could be that somebody else says, oh, I tried that too, but I got AIDS. How is that possible? So you could be, maybe they were in a clinic. You can change the story around and say they were in a clinic. Two guys came in and said, we use IV drugs all the time. We got AIDS. We're not sure what happened because we're wearing condoms. Then they're like, oh my, everybody's like, oh my God, is that true? So you can build the story and make it more exciting, or make it more, or make it, dull it down, or use something else than the thought of using prophylactics. Maybe some other topic, especially if there's women in the audience.
Well, exactly, because for my audience is mainly women. I mean, you're a coach. A lot of health
Mhm.
coaches are women. A lot of providers are women. So my
Mhm.
target market is mainly women. So to your point, you have to know your audience.
Mhm.
So the type of humor that I say that me and Annie might laugh at, or me and David might laugh at, and the type of humor that you and Miss Bryce will laugh at is very different, right? Or
Mhm.
sometimes I've also found that the women are the ones that throw out the first cuss word, in a meeting, and that kind of puts me at ease to say, okay, now I understand who I'm dealing with, right? I found that the case in a lot of meetings too. So correct me if I'm wrong, or I guess
Mhm.
it's a question slash comment. But when it comes to humor in technical presentations, you have to know your target audience because for example, let's say you're a white guy and you're making race jokes, and that's not going to fly if your target market is people of color, right? Or you're making sexist jokes, right? Or maybe the person. So it definitely differs. But I got a meeting that I got to hop on to.
That must be nice.
You can see, you can listen to the recording. It's nice to meet you. Let me not hold you up. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam.
So
Take care. Enjoy your weekend. So Coach David's here. So, look, I'll say this. Let me welcome Esther first of all. Esther, thank you for joining us. Jokes should be some parts. There should be some sort of icebreaker in a presentation. Yeah, I'm sure you agree with that, right?
okay, let me just get this. See this. She says joke should be an icebreaker. Yeah, it shouldn't be the whole presentation. It can be in the very beginning, and then you sort of close it out, and to remind them of the joke, because especially if they laughed and they liked the joke. But you know what? Sam brings a good point. He says that sometimes the women bring out the curse word first, but I think as a man, you should never fall for that trick, because women are cursing in a conference. Well, as soon as you do it, there's going to be one woman that says, oh my god, he said that bad word, and I,
I'm
oh,
offended.
me
I'm
me too, and
offended.
I need 10 million to feel better. You cannot go like, but you know what, what's his name, a tall guy, I can't remember his name. Yeah, but there are a couple of them that they probably have a disclaimer. Just so you know, we use colorful language, and if you don't like that, go elsewhere because we're going to do it. So
Mm.
that you don't have a chance to sue them. But as a business owner, you really cannot afford to let women, I've heard guys say, "Oh, the women were trying to come on to them." You have to say, "Hey, hey, hey." That's unacceptable, and you've got to say it loud enough that other people hear. So I would never, as a woman, encourage cursing in a conference. Although I would love to have evening where you're just talking, you just let it go. But the thing is, some people, they say they like that, but when they get in the environment, they feel uncomfortable. Something comes up for them, something their mother told them when they were 5 years old, who knows, and so, so I know that you want to close this down in a timely manner. And David, I know that you're here. Thank you so much. I love your suit. I love that, especially if your wife has a matching one and your kids. That's even better, right? Right, Annie? Annie, no laughing. Hey, David, how you doing?
Thank you, Elaine. I'm excited. I hope you can hear me.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. So we've been talking about building a speech. And the thing is, Grace, Gladys, were you able to come up with a twist? Because I know you were talking about you're in your field, you are very serious. And at what point do you feel you would do a presentation? Let's say at your daughter's wedding, you had to give some kind of talk, and maybe you had to mention something funny, like 25 years ago, I didn't know I'd be standing here like this talking about my own daughter, something like that. You want to bring it so that people either feel sad or they feel happy. You got to get an emotion. What do you think?
I agree, but again, I don't really have a sense of humor. I would probably maybe steal a joke from a comedian. Maybe that would work.
Okay, but if you stole a joke from a comedian, would you be able to practice it and act out and do facial expressions, gestures, tonality?
I probably would. I would definitely practice, but I would change things around a little. I don't want to be a copycat. I want to at least switch it up a little bit.
Okay. I think that's fair. That's fair. And the thing is, you can always say, hey, don't blame me. This is a speech from so-and-so. So the fact that you dropped the name of somebody famous, they're going to be like happy that you're giving them a happy feeling, and they'll smile because of that. Even if you miss the punchline, the important thing is don't go on and on about the story and then say, oh, wait a minute, I forgot. Because that's like riding a bike and then somebody's put the brakes on and then now they're going. And it's like, what the hell? So the bottom line is you've got to practice it. And then when you deliver, you've got to have those pacings. And then he said, let me see if I remember. Boom. And you come in with it. And they're like, whoa. And I know you've seen people give jokes like that. Like you go to some place and somebody's like the life of the party, talking and giving jokes and stuff, and everybody's laughing, buying him drinks. Yeah. I mean, this session is not to make you a professional speaker, but to get you, number one, more comfortable with speaking, and also to get you comfortable with adding a little piece of humor here or there. And that if somebody says something to you that's out of order, that you have a comeback. If somebody disrespects you, you can say something like, and I expected that of you. What are they going to say? Especially if they said something nasty in front of other people, they'd be like, ooh, you said, oh, I expected that from you. Look, it's in my notes. Look. And you don't even have their name on the paper, right? Like, look, your name is here, blah, blah, blah. And you read, and you say their name, and you say back what they said to you. See, it's here. They're like, I want to see it. No, this is my proof for HR.
Well, it makes a difference. It really does make a difference because you don't want to be bored to death. So, yeah, having a sense of humor does help when you're giving a presentation.
It does. And, I get where you're coming from, Gladys. My parents were like, no smiling. Keep yourself serious. Don't let anybody take advantage of you. So he's like, little kid, like sitting there all face, you go someplace, you can't smile with anybody, all that. It affects you as you get older.
Yeah.
It affects you. And you probably are you a person that works with numbers?
No.
You don't. Okay. People that work with like accountants and lawyers and people like those kind of people have a hard time coming out of that. I am the accountant. I am the whatever, and then they sit in that box.
They
And
need
so
to relax a little. Yeah.
it's important, but then again, you don't know how to relax. And I would never expect you to be like, I have a part-time job doing stand-up comedy on the weekend. I would never expect you to be doing. I'd be like, oh, I don't want to go to that show. I
You
do
never
not
know.
want to do that. So, hey, Gladys, I'll see you afterwards. We'll go for lunch or something. This has been so. Emmy, was I helpful?
Yeah. That's it.
preparing you?
Yeah, you certainly were. Let me work on Linda. Let me work on Christy as well. Thank you for joining us. And my book launch for my new client is next week, Wednesday. Hopefully you will join us. I need you all to buy the book, right? So it's 99 cents. Anyway, look. And look, I've taken what you said, and I think I can make something. I can flip the script almost when it comes to growing up in Nigeria and the hot weather, running around, being injected, so and living like the other kids do, right? The orphanage and so on and so forth. And then
you can make up. You
yeah,
can make up stuff. You said I had a moped. You can make it up that you had something way more than what you did have. People like, damn.
So I will turn it around to then feeling the snow, on that November day when my dad forgot to get us coats.
Dad was late getting to the meeting because he had to plow the snow in the driveway.
Literally, I would say we got out of the airport and it was snowing and he didn't get us coats. And we were like, what the hell? So it's a true story, Gladys, and it fits into your nice personality where we talk about the truth, but it's easy the other extreme, right? And it is part of my story, so
yeah.
I can deliver that authentically without feeling too bad, right?
If you want to deliver the presentation to me, I do that, no charge, don't worry about it. But if you want to deliver the presentation to me and I evaluate how you do, I think presentation and how you dress is important. A nice suit with a nice tie.
No tie. No, tailor suits, no tie.
No tie?
No.
Why?
It's gone now. It's too hot. I don't wear ties. I've got ties, but I don't wear them. I don't know. The suit is worth it alone. So say what you like. The fact that I don't wear a tie is my choice.
That's fine.
And I don't mean you. I mean everyone. That's my.
Oh no! I've been married. I know when the man doesn't want to do something. It's like it's okay. I won't be cooking tonight. It's okay. No dinner for you.
Look, I may come back to you next week, and I say I'm going to Ghana on Thursday night, Friday morning. So I say I will have to start rehearsing. See, I know what I'm going to say. I know the sections. I know the stories I want to tell.
Why do you not have it typed up? Why do you not have cue cards?
I don't think I need cue cards as I'm telling stories.
But the point that your wife made is that you stutter. You stutter.
But I don't.
How do you get? Huh?
I know the story. I practice it every day. What I haven't done is write it down. I don't need to write it down. I know what it is. Look, Dale Carnegie said, "Know your story. Practice it every day. Play in your head when you're walking down the road. Play in your head when you're working. Play in your head." That's what I've done. But I said I'll deliver it to you, and then you can refine it if you want. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever you want. I'm here to help you. And for those of you who are listening, this is a hard-headed man that don't want to listen to a woman. You see?
Yeah, it's not true. It's not true. It's not true.
It's all right. It's all right. Everybody has their own style.
It's not. Yeah. I take that. So I don't want to be looking at a bit of paper at all. You know, I know what I'm going to say. I know the sequence in my conversation.
Mhm.
Yeah, so my thing is just make sure I don't run over or go too far under. You know, whilst also telling my couple of funny bits. So,
Mhm.
but I'll come to you and then say I'll happily get feedback from you, Lee. It's fine.
No problem. No problem. I'm here. I'm not laughing or anything. This is serious. When it comes to public speaking, I am serious. I need to know where should I be at 5 minutes, 12 seconds. Okay, I'm on time. I'm on time. I'm on time. If you don't time it and know where you should be and what you will run and you'll be talking for 2 hours straight.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I haven't got 2 hours. I got 15 minutes. I got 20 minutes max. So I'll get to 15
Gladys,
minutes.
I'm looking at you.
Why?
15 minutes.
Yes.
Well, you got to hit it. You got to hit that ball out of the
Yeah.
park right away.
I just got to tell the stories I want to tell and get to the points I make the points I want to make.
Yeah, you're not going to get a lot of time, like a ramp time, like when the plane needs enough time to rear up to get the plane off the ground.
Mm.
You're going to have to start early and hit it hard
Yes.
early. Wow,
Yes.
15 minutes.
There are full sections. I need to make my points in each section. That's all.
You are traveling to Africa to talk for 15 minutes.
Yes. It could be 20 if I let it be, but 15 minutes will do me.
I want to send you some money to get me dashiki or something.
Yeah. And by all means, let's do it early so I can find out from them, from William, exactly what's involved. So welcome, Dr. Joseph. I see you. How you doing? It's Ellen's amazingly phony. No, it's amazingly funny. Not phony.
I'm a phony?
No, he doesn't. Does he know you? It means funny, I'm sure.
I don't know him.
Right.
Oh, you know why he said that? Because I can't hit him from here. That's okay. Let me add you to my list. I have a list of people. I told them when I see you, I'm going to hit you. They're like, oh, no, don't hit me. Put your name on the list. Dr. Joseph, is this NYOY? Yeah, I got it.
Coach David, what's your strategy? I guess, do you have a question? Do you have a strategy? How do you add humor to your presentations, my friend?
Okay, I had the unique blessing of being a comedian once.
Carry on. That's not okay.
So I wrote in the chat. I went to see a very elderly comedian. When I say elderly, he's not comedy at that time for about 20 years. When I wanted to do comedy right out of university, I just was curious about what comedy was about. So he gave me some materials. So there are materials, and thank you, Elaine. Those are very powerful things you mentioned. There's a way to craft jokes. There's the comic mind. Then when it comes to the use of comedy in professional settings, I was blessed to also get a couple of books. They are in my library in Nigeria, not in the UK. But these are also, for example, I have the 5,000 laugh out loud jokes and one-liners. I have that particular one here in the UK. And the beautiful thing is that it's divided into the topics and the areas. If you are talking debit and credit, you're talking financial statements, whatever topic under that subtopic you want to train under. And some of them are very illustrative. So I recommend everyone who's going to be a speaker within professional circles to look for any of these materials and at least go through them. You're going to find some that works for your scenario and is not in any way, it won't be offensive to the context or the culture or the environment. They've been crafted a certain way, and there are large volumes of these. Comedians use them all the time. That's the first thing. Number two is that I do very long trainings. I train the PMP certification. That's the project management professional certification. That's 40 hours and some very heavy stuff. Whole day, morning to evening, adults sitting down. At some point, they get iffy, shifty, they get tired. But before that point, I carried them through. I mean, the experiences have been very wonderful. I use humor and I listen well. I use it with the subject, I weave it with the subject. And like Elaine said, you must prepare for it. You must look at the material, look at the slide, imagine and picture, do stage analysis. The PowerPoint and the joke must land together with the timing. For example, generally after lunch, people get tired and bored. I have more jokes in the afternoons, and because I know people will be tired, I play a mental movie of the hours from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock because I want the class. What kind of energy do I want the class to have? And I'm also making people think deeper by allowing them to talk more and facilitate inside the joke. I create some drama and all of that. Anyway, the bigger point is there's a way to craft jokes in professional setting. Although the caveat is that some jokes should not be said if you're not a. Some things can be offensive to some crowd, like we said, and you can lose people altogether and lose big money altogether.
Yeah.
You can lose very big perception. You can lose big money. I mean, for example, you don't make jokes around a couple of things, and increasingly the world is getting more politically correct. I'm slightly stoic in my internal belief systems, but nowadays we have to be light. For example, you can't tell people brazenly that they contributed to their own hurt, for example, as a subject, that you are also a participant when you are hurt. But that's a strong factor of life, for example. So what's the bigger point? You must be able to use comedy. Let me say the last one because Annie and I are working on me speaking not for too long. This is it. Everything you will do will be carried through the pipe of communication. Communication is a pipe. Think about it like a carriage that you use to manage work. All of your deliverables in project management will be managed by communication. 90% of the time, a project manager is communicating. That's what the textbook says. Either you are writing an email, you are in a meeting. Majority of your function will be done by communication. You don't want to be boring. People are going to get used to your voice. And it must be pleasant, memorable interaction all the time. So you would need humor. It's not a matter of maybe. If a project manager or someone that manages projects and you're in leadership position, you will communicate. I mean, to whom much is given, blood is expected. That's a humorous way of saying you're the project manager. So if you don't want to become project damager, if you're a true project manager, you don't want to be a project damager. Communication and in a way that people will not get out of your voice. And if they see your phone call or SMS or message at some odd hours, the first thing shouldn't be offensive or we are tired. So humor is a very wonderful tool that I think every project manager should master. In my experience as a project manager and in project management training, practically speaking, humor does a lot. There have been log jams that humor has broken. I mean, when you have the more complex the project, the more you would need to be able to make everybody laugh at the right time. People should be willing to work with you. And that's a skill that on your communication and humor helps you. Humor also helps you break people's barriers. It also releases pheromones. It releases the beautiful hormones that make work pleasant. I mean, you're excited to be around some people because they radiate an aura of friendliness, of hope, of camaraderie. Now, you yourself must be an embodiment of humor. You must you must acquire that state of mind before you attempt to communicate it. Otherwise, it's going to be funny. Last line: make sure that the joke is funny. There's nothing as funny as a comedian or a joke that is not funny.
Mm.
On that note, I will yield the mic.
Coach David, I need you to come and do one of my Africa business talks. We need to do your divine inspiration in our Thinking Differently series.
Awesome. This presentation was so good. This was so good. This was Joyce, Dave, everybody. I appreciate you so much. So nice to meet you. I'll make sure that we connect on LinkedIn. Again, my information is in that bio. Make sure you connect with me.
That's a bio in the comments, right? That's a bio that I posted in the comments.
Right, and it's on the LinkedIn profile. When I saw it at the bottom, my link, that link has my, and I appreciate you doing that. We'll connect this weekend or Monday or Tuesday before you travel, and give you some more tips on preparedness and getting rid of the nervous jitters so that you command the stage. But
there's no nerves. When I command the stage, it's a different conversation. There's no nerves. I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I'm quite relaxed, and I will do what I have to do. So it's what I do well or not, Elaine. Hopefully,
you're gonna do well, or don't come home.
My son will be very upset with that.
If you don't do well, cancel your trip home. That's how I go. I'll call your wife, tell her, she'll be like, okay.
You've given me a lot to work with, and so now I am now thinking of how to tell that part of the story. So which bits I pick, for example. So by the time we'll talk on Tuesday, I'll have it, as Coach David says, I'll practice. The delivery. That will end with me giving maximum points, maximum hardship points for the person who's experienced the snow like I had. Yeah.
And you know what, Annie? Let me just quickly say this. Africans are actually more open, and you have much more context because you're also an African coming from the diaspora. The other part is that you can also watch a few comedy clips. If you're keen on using comedy, you can watch a few comedy clips on YouTube to put you in the mood. There's acquiring the comic mind. If you're a serious-minded person, you have to loosen your mind. If you don't think funny, you can't speak or act funny because the mind and the body are one. So you need to prime yourself to be in a very comic zone for starters. Imagine you start, for example, look at what I said now. Imagine you start. I've put you into the picture mode. So you have to see yourself on stage and watching comic videos on YouTube of African comedians, not British ones. African comedians, not British ones, because you're going to speak to Africans. Some things are funny in the UK, but they're not funny in Lagos. We don't even understand the context. Do you understand? So that's what I wanted to add, that you can watch clips. But Elian, thank you, and Beatrice, GB. Sorry, I always forget your name. I'm sorry about that.
Gladys, also, did you have Gladys?
Gladys.
I would get all confused.
Nice meeting you, Gladys and David. Annie, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here. And those who are listening to the recording, do not fear public speaking. It is your one time to control the audience, that to have that control of 1,000 people, and whatever you say they'll hear. I mean, it's powerful. So you want to be able to command and say good things and be remembered. So with that, you can close out the call. I'm ready. I'm very happy. Oh, I have a gift to put out for you guys. Annie, I'll send it to you, and you can post that to your network.
Okay, well, so is it something I can attach to the comments or send in the DMs?
No, I'll send it. I'm gonna save it as a one pager, so it's two-sided. People can print it out however they want, but it's ready to go. I just didn't put it out there earlier because it wasn't something people were going to work on during the actual class.
Superb. So I'll go through the people who are here, and then I'll send it to your DMs, my friends. That's probably the easiest.
Excellent. Everybody have a great Friday. This Friday.
It's a weekend.
I know.
Thank you, Elaine.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I hope everybody out there got something. Contact me if you need more information or help or support. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Take care, Eddie and Coach and Elaine. Take care.
Bye, David. Bye.
Every step forward is drama, chase success with global.media.com. That's